Assalamu alaikum. Today I'll tell you the story of Muhammad and what she did when her husband took another wife. It tells you when a woman is really thinking that she can do wonders. It's how it's mentioned in Surah Yusuf. Inna kaydakunna azim. Indeed, your scheme is great. Let's get right into it. Muhammad says, I come from a rich family. My father is a successful businessman. He has a lot of land and a flourishing business. And my mom was similar. She inherited a lot of wealth from her father. So I lived a well-pampered life. Everything was available to me. I completed my studies. After the university, I stayed at home because my father wouldn't allow women to work. Soon my cousin proposed. This was my uncle's son. My uncle was similar. He was wealthy as well, and soon everything was decided, and I got married to him. We had a very big and fancy wedding, and my uncle gave his son a villa as a wedding gift. Then I moved with my husband in this villa, and alhamdulillah, I was living with luxury. My husband got me a maid. She was from an Asian nationality, and she started working. I had no reason to complain. I was very happy with my life. Soon after marriage, I got pregnant. My uncle threw a big party. That was a celebration party. And he was so happy that he will get a grandchild. Alhamdulillah, I had a very healthy baby, and we named him Muhammad. Our life was going smoothly till one night, I had a bad dream. And I couldn't sleep any longer. I kept tossing and twisting in bed. Then I finally decided to get up. It's useless. I'm not going to be able to sleep anyway. I decided to go in the living room. It was downstairs. We had a living room and guest rooms downstairs, and upstairs were bedrooms. And I was walking very carefully to not wake up my husband or my sleeping child. I also had socks on, so my feet made no noise at all. While I was going downstairs, on the right, I saw some light coming from the guest rooms. When I went closer, I felt a shiver down my spine. I can't even describe to you how my maid looked. She was dressed in the most seductive way. She was wearing shorts, and she had very long hair that she blow-dried, and they were dangling on her back. She had makeup on, and she looked very beautiful. This is the first time I saw her hair open. I had no idea she had such beautiful hair. And I felt really jealous, and I thought, what if my husband came down instead of me? I felt this pang of jealousy for my husband, ghira, because she was completely a different person from the one I'm used to seeing in the mornings, because when she's working, she's always in her hijab and modest clothes. I told her, what are you doing? And she got spooked. She looked at me. She couldn't talk. She couldn't speak. I said, why are you dressed like that? And she said, I was trying to send some pictures to my friends. So I told her to give me your phone. She said, no. But as I was her employer and I was responsible for her and her actions while she was in my country, she handed the phone to me. And I saw that she had so many men added in her phone, and she was sending very questionable selfies to them. And I was worried, what if she's bringing men to our house when we go to sleep? And what if she ends up running with a person? At the end of the day, she is our responsibility. So I told her to quickly go dress up and go to her room. The next day, I told my husband, I don't want this maid anymore. Please return her back in the office. And he did exactly that. And then I applied to get another maid. And soon she arrived, and I welcomed her, and I showed her what she needs to do, showed her her room. And this one, she started working as well. However, she didn't like me to tell her what to do. When I would tell her to do this or do that, she would tell me, please don't say anything. I know my work. I'll do it by myself. So don't tell me what to do and when to do it. So then I couldn't stay with her, and I had to return her as well. Then Allah blessed me with another child. And then another. Alhamdulillah, now I have 3 children. And the workload has increased a lot on me. However, still, day-to-day life had a toll on me, and I started waking up early in the morning so that I could cook and clean the whole villa all by myself. There was dishes, there were clothes to wash and iron. And as you all know, if you have a smaller house, there's less work, but if you have a villa, there's a lot more work to do. And I was barely able to keep up. I started becoming short-tempered. I started yelling at my children. They would get on my nerves, and I was stretched thin, as you can imagine. And my husband started encouraging me to get another maid. Then I said, okay, I tried another maid. And this one was also problematic. She was even more problematic than the last 2 that I got. Imagine, my underwear started disappearing on me. I would think to myself, where did they go? Because of all the things I have heard about maids and because of my past experiences, one day I sent the maid away to get me groceries. And I sent her to a further shop, and I knew that it would take her a while to get back. Meanwhile, I went into her room and started searching her closets. Imagine what I found. I found my underwears there, but then she had put some things inside as if she was trying to put a spell on me. Ya Allah, things have reached this level? I was so furious. I was going to directly hand her over to the religious police to deal with her. But then she started begging me and crying and kissing my feet and telling me that she has children back home, that I should have mercy on her. And my heart softened, and I sent her immediately to her country and got rid of her. And I promised to myself that I'm not going to have any more maids in my house. I would do my own work, and I would bring some temporary workers to clean my house and go. Everything was calm and settled, and I was quite content. But from my perspective, everything was perfect. But it was a little bit different from my husband's perspective. Now, in the evenings, when I was busy teaching my children, helping them with their homeworks, my husband was nowhere to be found. He worked till late, and he stopped asking me to sit with it, to have a cup of tea with him, or to wear his favorite clothes. Because he saw how tired I was, he stopped asking anything of me. We started living like brothers and sisters. One day, my husband came home from work, and he asked me to prepare his travel suitcase. This was nothing unusual. He often traveled due to work for a day or 2. The only unusual thing was this time he said he's going to travel for a whole week. I didn't think anything of it. I said okay to him. Even though I was physically very tired, the whole day I've been cooking, cleaning, teaching children, I still got up to prepare my husband's travel bag. I ironed some clothes for him, perfumed other clothes for him, and did my best. Then he left. When my husband left, and my kids were asleep, by this time, Muhammad was in secondary school. I was sitting in the living room chilling. All of a sudden, I see Muhammad coming from his room. So I told him, "You've got school tomorrow. Go to bed. Why are you still awake? Go to bed." He said, "Mother, I want to talk to you about something, but at the same time, I don't want to talk to you about it." So I said, "What do you mean you want to talk to me, but you don't want to talk to me about it? Quit being so mysterious, boy. Out with it." He said, "Mother, I'm afraid you'll become sad." I said, "Don't worry, just tell me." So he said, "Before my father left, he took me out to eat. And he spoke to me about something that concerns you and him." So I told him, "What? Does your father have no shame?" My mind went far away. And I thought he complained to our son about our relationship, that I'm neglecting him and I'm not giving him his right as a wife. So I said, "What did he tell you?" And my son said, he said to me that now you're a man and you understand things. And as you see, your mother and I don't have any relationship. I've told her many times to get maids, to reduce her workload, to be a wife to me. But she's neglected herself, and she has no time for me. And at the end of the day, I'm a man and I have needs. So I've married another woman. All the proceedings are done. I'm just going to take her. We're going to go on a honeymoon for a week. But I couldn't face your mother. So please convey that from me. As soon as my son said that, it is as if somebody poured a hot lava on me. I felt extremely hot and bothered. But I kept calm because my son was already afraid I was going to get upset and sad. So I told him, this is your father's right. It is halal for him to take 4 if he wanted to. And my son said, then, are you not upset, mother? I said, no, my child, I'm not upset. Go to your room and sleep now. And I sent him to his room, and I jumped into the shower. It was cold, but my whole body was in flames. I turned on the coldest shower, and I jumped right into it with my clothes. And with the water pouring on me, my tears started pouring, and I cried like a baby. And I thought to myself, I've killed all my desires for this guy. I worked so hard for this family, for him, for his children, for this house. What did I get in return? Is this the repayment of all my sacrifices? But then I realized that he was right. I was a stupid one. Nobody asked me to sacrifice all my needs and my desires, to not have a life of my own. I brought this upon myself. I cried like anything, and I prayed a lot. And I started feeling calmness in my heart. I had this cool sensation of all the shock and the pain slowly being replaced with sakina, with calmness. From that point forward, it was as if I was reborn. I felt like a completely new person. I became selfish all of a sudden. And I made a plan for my life. From now on, I am going to prioritize myself. I'm going to look after my passions, my desires. Just like my husband went and found his happiness, I am going to pursue my happiness. And I can't tell you how I pampered myself that night. I had a long bath. I did manicure and pedicure for myself. I put creams all over my body. I put the best clothes that I had. Got myself orange juice and sat in the living room with a pen and a notebook. And I made some decisions. Number 1 decision, just like my husband suggested, I'm going to bring in a maid, but 1 will not be enough for me. I need at least 2, 1 for cleaning, 1 for cooking. Number 2, I'm going to learn driving. And I'm going to be more independent. I'm going to have a social life. I'm going to meet friends. I'm going to make friends. I'm going to visit my cousin sisters. Number 3, I'm going to have a source of income. I want to become a businesswoman. I'm going to have some projects of my own. While I was writing those things down, my son Muhammad came and he said, Mother, what are you doing? I said, I'm just doing some work. And you've not slept yet. It looks like you won't be able to go to your school tomorrow. It's okay, it happens. You can be absent tomorrow. Then he and I had some quality time where we talked about various things and we connected in a different way. Then he went to sleep and I went to sleep. On the other hand, my husband was having the time of his life, to the point that even his phone was off. I don't know, I didn't call him, but my children told me that his phone was off. It doesn't matter, because he no longer mattered to me. The jealousy that I felt for him, it kind of died, because my focus was now myself. The whole week went fine, till the day came that I received a message from my husband telling me that he'll be coming home. I got mentally prepared, and you're not going to believe what I did next. When he came home, he might have thought I would have worn the most amazing dress that I had, and I would be in my makeup and most beautiful clothes just to show him that he made a mistake, that I was still beautiful. I did none of that. I did the complete opposite. I welcomed him in most normal clothes. And I had a mask on my hair that consisted of eggs, honey, yogurt. So I looked completely normal, nothing special, as if it didn't even matter to me what just happened. To send him a message that I don't care about what you did. It makes no difference to me. I'm still confident in myself. So I told him, Ahla wa sahla, welcome. Welcome to your house. I heard you got married. Mabruk to you. Congratulations on your marriage. And I have a gift for you. And I gave him a very nice lingerie set for his new bride. And that to him was as if I had slapped him. He wanted to say, what's wrong with you? Like, I just got married. Don't you feel any jealousy? Don't you want to fight over me? Where is your ghira? But he was controlling himself. Imagine your wife giving your bride a beautiful lingerie set. That's a very strong message that it doesn't matter to me. Then he started asking about his children. Muhammad was away. The two younger ones came and they sat with their father, and he spent time with them. He brought them gifts. He was showing them their gifts. Meanwhile, I went to the kitchen and I got 2 steaming cups of tea. But this time I kept it very simple. Earlier I used to prepare tea like there is a party. Put snacks with it, decorate it. And I used to take pride in those details. However, this time I just brought 2 cups of tea. Gave one to him and took one myself while the food was getting done. And I prepared a very simple food. Nothing special. And I came and sat with him. And I said, I want to talk to you. He became very happy. He thought, I'm going to tell him why he did this and show him how much it hurt me and that kind of thing. But this is not what happened. I sent my children to their rooms and I told him, look, you got married. There's nothing wrong with that. Islam allows you to take up to 4 wives. May Allah bless it for you. And just as you went and looked for your happiness, I want to look for my happiness too. So he said, whatever you want. I brought you radwa. And radwa is a cultural gift given to the first wife when the husband takes another wife. And it's like a monetary gift for the first wife that is usually equal to the mahr of the new bride. It's called radwa. Radwa is just so the first wife becomes happy, becomes radi, accepts it. He said, I've prepared radwa for you. I told him, I don't want radwa, but I want you to buy me that car. I named a very expensive luxury car. And he said, done. I'll get you that car. And I told him, it's like you've always asked me to get a maid. I need a maid, but 1 is not enough for me. I need at least 2. And he said, that's fine. He couldn't believe that I'm actually happy and I'm actually accepting his second wife. So he was very eager to accept all my conditions. And I told him I want to open some projects. I want to be more independent. He was welcoming the idea. And finally I told him, my last condition is that you spend 6 nights with your new wife and only 1 night for me. Only 1 night, only Friday, I'm your wife. 6 days of the week, you're welcome to come. It's your house. You eat with your children. You spend time with them. But I have nothing to do with you. I'm not your wife on 6 days. But I am your wife only Friday. He couldn't believe that I'm proposing such a thing. This blew his mind away. And he very thankfully accepted all my conditions. Poor guy had no idea what's going to happen to him. Anyway, This is exactly what happened. I worked on myself day and night. I learned driving. And I opened 2 stores, one for selling flowers and the other one was for bridal things. They both started working fine. And of course, I got employees in both shops. And I was only there for monitoring. Back home, my husband used to come almost daily to spend some time with his children. And when he would come, I would be sure to be dressed well, look very presentable. And I would hand over the children to him for 1 or 2 hours. And I would go visit my cousins, meet my friends, go to restaurants, and enjoy my life. The whole week, he used to sleep at her place. And my day was only Friday. Initially, he was really happy with this arrangement. He couldn't believe himself. He thought of himself as the most lucky man in the world. As you all know, I was living in a villa, and he had told this to the bride, that my first wife lives in a villa, and I'm going to get you an apartment, and you're going to be staying there. Till now, everything is fine for my husband. Everything is going according to his plan, according to his likeness. One day, I told my maids to cook a very lavish feast. And I told my husband that you and your wife are invited for dinner. And I made sure to beautify my house, bring out my most luxurious dinner sets. The maids worked really hard and prepared so many varieties of dishes, so many sweet and so many savory dishes, so many snacks. And dessert and tea was separate. Now it was time for my husband and his wife to come. You think that I must have dressed well to show her that there's nothing wrong with me? But no, I dressed in my usual clothes. Even when my husband opened the door, he got shocked. He was thinking to himself, every day I see her beautified and attractive dresses on, and today my new wife is coming. She's dressed in that. It is all mind games. It didn't matter to me what she thought. My whole concern was my husband. It gave him the message that I was extremely confident in myself, that I was not lacking in any way. And let me tell you what happened to the bride. As soon as she entered the villa, her eyes were opened wide. Her jaw dropped when she saw all this luxury, all this decoration, all this space. Slowly, she started becoming uneasy. And I forgot to tell you, she was in her 20s. And my husband was in his late 40s. What does a young girl want from a man that old, if not financial stability and luxury? However, this villa was his father's gift. And yes, he was wealthy, but not so wealthy to afford another villa for his other wife. And so that they had already made this agreement before that she was going to be living in the apartment. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Back to the dinner. She started eating, but she seemed visibly upset. And the whole time, the best hostess ever. I kept offering them more food, kept bringing more things. I made sure, and I offered to take her to tour the villa with me. And she did. Then I said my goodbyes, and sent them back with some gifts. The next day, my husband came to me. He was clearly upset. And I asked him what happened. And he started saying what was wrong with me. Why did I need to take another wife? It's not worth it. Apparently, the bride went back home and she started demanding to have a villa for herself as well. She started saying things like, you're not doing justice between your wives. She's living in a villa and I'm living in an apartment. I want a villa as well. And he told her, I can't afford a villa right now. And this is our agreement that you're going to live in an apartment. Anyway, they argued and she took her blanket and slept on the living room sofa that night. As days passed, their disagreement started getting more intensified. Clearly, The honeymoon phase was completely over. Now he started dreading going back to her. Every day he was creating problems. He started begging me to allow him to have one night here, one night there, one night here, one night there. I completely refused. I told him, I have a different life now. I've got my own projects, I've got a social life. We had an agreement. So be the man of your words and stay with this agreement. Every Friday that he would come to me, I would send my kids over to my mother's house for that day. And it would be just me and him. And I would treat him like a king. I would pamper him like anything. My maids would do all the work of preparing meals and cleaning the house. And as soon as my husband would come, they would go to their rooms. I would be with the one to serve him all those things. And I would pamper him like anything. I would bathe him. I would massage him. We would spend quality times with him. I became the lover. My husband completely fell in love with me. And he would regret his second marriage. And he would say things like that, oh no, why did I take another wife? And each time his night was over with me, he would be like a child who is taken away from his mother. He would be about to cry and he would beg me to be able to stay more. One day my husband told me that they had a big fight and his wife told him, if you can't pamper me like your first wife, then why do I need you anyway? Look at how old you are. What do I want with you anyway? And he told him, if this is how you feel, then go to your family and soon we'll make a decision. She took her things and went to her house. A whole month passed. He didn't go to her and she didn't come to him. And I used to tell him, go make your wife happy, bring her back. And to be honest, I didn't want to destroy their house. I didn't want to cause a divorce. I was happy with the way things were now, and I was completely content with that. My husband was madly in love with me. And that's all any woman really needs. To feel like the chosen one, the preferred one, like the lover. So whenever I would try to convince him to get her back, he would say things like, I don't know why I got married to her. You are my cousin and you are my everything. You are my wise, intelligent, and beautiful wife. She is nothing like you. And I would think to myself, yeah, I wasn't your beautiful, intelligent wife when you went and took another one. But I didn't say this to him. I only told him, whenever you come to me, please leave all your negativity outside this door, because when you're here, I don't want any negative vibes. I want us to be happy and enjoy each other's company. So this is exactly what happened. He would come here, get royal treatment, and we would have the time of our lives. And then he would go. Till the day came, the second wife's father called him and said, like we entered in this relationship with ma'roof, with kindness, let's get out of this relationship with kindness too. And he said, okay, inshallah. Then he came to me and he spoke with me and he said, this is what happened. She wants a divorce. And I told him, it has nothing to do with me. I'm not responsible for your decisions. And I don't want to be responsible for anyone's divorce. As far as I'm concerned, I want you to bring her back. He said, no, this has nothing to do with you. Oh, we're just not meant to be together. We're so different. You are the compatible one. Our mental level are the same. And I thought to myself, you certainly didn't feel this way when you took another wife. Anyway, so I told him, listen, whether you divorce her or not, this is entirely up to you. But I like the way things are with me. This is your house. You are more than welcome to come and live here. But I don't want it to interfere with my projects. My projects will remain the same. My social life will remain the same. And he said he will completely support me in all of that. So this is what happened. He divorced his second wife. And let me tell you that our relationship is like that of a newly married couple. The depth of love and feelings for each other. We both learned a lot and changed from this experience. And now I'm living my best life. Till here, Muhammad's story has ended. And I have some Very important lessons for you as a woman, whether you're a wife or you'll become a wife one day. You need to hear those. But first, I will inshallah link the feminine wife video down below so you can work on yourself. And please remember to support me by subscribing to this channel. We also have some videos on how to become more seductive for your husband in the bedroom, only available when requested. The truth is, I've been wanting to talk about the polygamy in my channel for a long time. And alhamdulillah, I'm finally doing it. MashaAllah, those of you who are in Al-Qawari community, I monitor your chats, I monitor your questions and your interactions just so I can address things that you need me to address. And lately, there has been a rise in questions about being the first wife and how to cope when your husband takes another wife. This is exactly why I've created this video. And inshallah, you must have learned a lot from this video. And if you did, please show me by pushing the like button. Also, I'm curious to know if you agree with how Muhammad handled the situation. That being said, the lessons I want you to learn as a woman is that everything else is replaceable. The housework is replaceable. You can get a cleaner. You can get food from outside. All of men's needs can be met from other places. But his need for a wife is irreplaceable. Only you can fulfill that for him. At the end of the day, a man needs a feminine wife. Number 2, if the husband is a decent guy, he's not narcissistic or toxic, and majority of men are decent, then nobody can take the place of the first wife in his heart. She's spent with him the longest. She's seen him at his worst. She's stuck by him through thick and thin. So most men feel this sense of loyalty to their first wife. And when they take another wife, they feel some guilt. So their relationship with the first wife becomes even better because they know that they've broken your heart. And they want to make it up to you. And know that you have a permanent place in his heart as a first wife. The more emotionally attached and dependent you are on your husband, the more you're going to struggle if he takes another wife. If he ends up taking another wife, then the best strategy to cope with this is to focus on yourself, to strengthen your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, strengthen your attachment to Him. You need to see your relationship with your husband as a halal means to fulfill your needs. You need to be more logically attached and less emotionally attached with your husband. What I mean by that is, make yourself a priority too. Yes, you give him his rights as a husband, but don't neglect yourself. Focus on your life, on your goals, on your dreams, on your connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this is what's going to help you get through this trial. Another thing is, the second wife, no matter how young, beautiful, and attractive she is, once the honeymoon phase is over, she will become like a regular woman in his eyes. The only thing that will matter then is what kind of person she is, how feminine she is. And if the first wife was feminine and was a good person, who used to care for her husband, then no woman in the world can compete with her. She will remain the best in her husband's eyes. Give it time. At least get through 1 year. You never know if his new marriage is going to work out for him or not. So why destroy your own house? Never be hasty. Don't make emotional decisions. Oh, I'm going to get divorced. I can't stay in this marriage anymore. You have to weigh all your pros and cons. Work on having a steady income. Work on becoming more independent. I'm not saying this so you can get a divorce from it. I'm saying this because having a steady income of your own gives you options. So then you're not compelled to stay in this marriage. You're staying in this marriage because he treats you right. He is a good husband to you. He fulfills your needs. A few words for you if you're the second wife. You entered in this marriage with your husband knowing that he already has a wife. knowing that he already has a house. He might have children. So knowing that, you accept him as a package deal. You have to be prepared for the challenges that come with him. Be prepared that he is going to behave like a married man, like a man who has a house and who has his children. Another thing is, never ever try to destroy his first house. Always approach it with respect. And even encourage him to be kinder to his first family. This will increase your value in your husband's heart. And he will relax that you don't want to destroy his first house. He will have his guards down. One last thing is, the woman who is able to live like a lover with her husband is the one who is going to win his heart and his affection. That is it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم.